Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome if you're new and welcome if you're not. We are here to drop some tea as always. Today we're talking about Jessica, who has gone missing. Jessica was on a cruise ship, a Caribbean cruise ship. She pays like £789 to go on this trip. When she got to Bonaire, Jessica left the cruise ship. Apparently she packed her belongings and she left a note saying thank you and a tip. So she left some money there for the staff. Jessica has not been seen ever since. Now, staff said when they realised she had gone, they thought it was a little odd. So they gave her a text message and she contacted them back and said thanks for the cruise, but she has chosen to leave of her own accord. Now, this is not impossible because some people do decide to leave their cruise ship and, they want to stay on a certain island. But what is very strange is that it was a text message. It wasn't even a phone call. She could have told them in person if they had actually seen her, which would confirm it. And even if she had told them in person she wanted to get off at this ship, I feel she should have been took into a private room and asked some questions because she could be being blackmailed for money. There are girls that go missing sometimes on these cruise ships, so she's not the first one. But when you go missing on a cruise ship, it is very difficult for you to be located. It's very difficult because it leaves less of a digital footprint in terms of they dropped you off somewhere, you got off the ship, and after that, these girls just vanish. There's no hotel bookings, there's nothing you can connect them to on that particular island where they have gone missing. Now, it is possible that someone had been on that cruise ship, forced her to get off the cruise ship, and had literally, planned to maybe even traffic her. So it's important that Jessica is found. Jessica needs to be found because Jessica could be in danger. Jessica could even just be having a mental meltdown. When you just had enough, you're overwhelmed, life is tiring you out, you just want to get away, but your mental is so bad and you really just need to, maybe see a professional. We don't know Jessica's mental state of mind. We don't know if Jessica was suicidal. We don't know what was going on with Jessica. So Jessica needs to be found. It's not right that you can just go on a cruise ship, not get on the ship again. They can give you a little text, maybe inform authorities, and the cruise ship just continues to go on without you. That's why I feel like you've got to be very careful when you choose to go on a cruise. It's really important that you're travelling with people and you're not travelling alone. But even still, you can go missing. There's another girl who was travelling with her family and she's not been seen again, only by, witnesses who claim to have seen her. And she's been missing on one of these Caribbean islands. And the guy from the military actually seen the girl who's missing, and she told him she had been trafficked and she would like some help, and he left her there because he didn't want people to find out he was spending time with people who were in prostitution. So you have to understand, although they advertise cruise ships as a luxury excursion, you're going to be sipping wine, everything's on board, everything's there that you need, there's still crime that occurs on these ships. Sometimes people are thrown overboard. So you got to be careful. You don't know who's on there. There's thousands of people on these cruise ships. So they are very dangerous. And remember, in the night, it's really, really dark outside in the sea. So, some of these psychopathic weirdos take advantage sometimes and they're happy to, throw someone overboard. Now, in Jessica's case, we know she's not been thrown overboard. Why? Because we know that she did actually, leave the ship. She definitely arrived at the destination. But what happened to her when she got to the destination? We do not know. We don't really know why Jessica packed her things and got off that ship. I mean, Jessica could have took another form of transportation if she wanted to just stay in the Caribbean. Why would she waste her time just cruising around country after country? She could have just got a direct flight there. It would have probably cost her less money. And she wouldn't be going down as a missing person now. She also would have been in a situation where she'd be able to arrange accommodation at her new location. So we have to ask ourselves, if you wanted to change country, is this the way you would go about it? Now, did Jessica find love on this ship? Was there maybe a guy who she was seeing, getting in a relationship with on the ship that maybe is from another island, Bonaire, and he has he basically encouraged her to come and stay there with him. It's a possibility, but then I feel like she would come forward then, now that she's all over the papers and everybody's looking for her. I wouldn't even trust the guy if I met him on the cruise ship. He said he was in love and he asked me to come and stay on his island, because who the hell is he? Who the hell is he? You can't just meet people and, spend a few days, a couple weeks of them and trust them with your life. Because when you're going places with strangers, your life is at risk, right? You've got to get to know people. You've got to get your people to see their face. Like, if you go missing, they got to say, "Buh, it was him. He was spending time with her all the goddamn time." You can't just be getting up and, coming off a cruise ship and going to stay with some guy. I don't care what romantic words he gave you. I don't care how he put it down in the bedroom. I don't care what that man was doing. It cannot be done. You need to know people before you're going off on an island with them. There are people who have gone to stay with long lost relatives that they hardly know from other countries, and they've been robbed, they've been unalived, like things have happened to them. So this just makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. They've not said much about Jessica's mental health because I don't think they know much about her. It makes you wonder, when they take people on these cruise ships, should they take time to get a doctor's evaluation of your mental? Because people are going missing on these ships. And when you go missing off one of these ships, it seems like you can never be found. It's really difficult for you to be found. These ships move on too quick when people are missing. And that's why it's really important that you at least travel with your people. Because if you don't get back on the ship after they've stopped off on an island, at least your family or your friends or your partner, whoever you travelled with, will possibly come off the ship. Well, they damn well should come off the ship. And they will stay on that island and they will try and find you on the last island you was at. But then again, if the ship's gone and something's happened to you, you could be anywhere within that cruise ship and you could still be on there, and you could possibly be deceased somewhere on the cruise ship. Like, people need to do more when it comes to these cruise ships. There needs to be more done to make sure people are safe, they're not missing, you know where people are. More staff checks. Everything needs to be looked into. These cameras need to be on 24/7. And if you go on a cruise ship, I'm starting to think every time it pulls up to a port and it's time for you to get off, you should get onto your phone and record a video and say, "Look, right, I've got off here and I intend to get back on the cruise ship. I would never want to stay at this location." This will mean that they cannot go around saying you've chose to disappear on a random island by yourself. If you don't get on the cruise ship, something is 100% wrong, because you told them that you was most definitely looking to get back to your home at the end of this cruise. I'm hoping that if somebody sees her on this island, they've at least taken a photo of her so we can confirm that she is actually alive. And even if she is confirmed alive, it's still important that police or her family members locate her to ensure that she's in a situation she wants to be in and she's not being forced. We all know about trafficking nowadays, travelling women from state to state, from country to country. It's a big trade. It's a disgusting trade. So we've got to really be being careful and looking out for one another. With all the technology today, it's crazy that people can still go missing. There's like cameras everywhere, but for some reason, there's never a camera in the spot that it's needed. It's always the case, like they see the person walk down the road, they turn the corner, no more cameras. So in this day and age, you would think tech would be at its most extreme. We all feel like we're being watched every day, but when something happens, they don't have enough camera coverage. I hope Jessica is okay. I really hope Jessica's okay. And I really, really want people to think, when you're going on these cruise ships, really think of a safety plan before you go. Make sure you let your people know, like, I would most definitely not be coming off a cruise ship and staying on one of these islands. Like, I want to come home. So people are definitely knowing you're not trying to run away from something. Okay, try to think of, emergency things that can be put in place if something was to happen to you. Maybe like code words, like you text a code word. Like if you say bye, maybe you put an O at the end or something. Some sort of sign, and that means something is wrong. Because people are going missing on these cruise ships, guys. People are going missing. And it's scary because when you're missing, these ships have been to so many islands, they've carried people around, and I don't even know if they really, truthfully have a good, perception of the people that they actually let onto these cruise ships. Who knows who they let on these cruise ships? Like, the last person who went missing on one of the cruise ships, they think one of their staff members was involved. So this is what I'm saying. It's a scary day and age. There's a lot of crime at the moment, and trafficking and things like that are absolutely at all-time high. Like, we've got to look after each other, and we've got to all be really careful and make sure we're putting like safety plans in place. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll definitely see you guys on another one.